out for summer. The Alice Cooper song expresses the sentiment of every student who has finally reached the end of another school year. While many students spend their summers doing nothing, more than 11 million children and adults in the United States spend their summers being involved in the long-standing tradition of summer camps. Across the nation, there are more than 12,000 summer camps. Among these are resident camps that last 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, or the whole summer. There are sports camps, dance camps, leadership camps, and music camps. Here in Richmond, Kentucky, we are home to the second oldest running music camp in the nation, the Stephen Collins Foster Music Camp. As a former camper and a former counselor, I want to share with you the experience of the Stephen Collins Foster Music Camp. Let's go back to the beginnings of Foster Music Camp. In 1936, Dr. James E. Van Pearson, who was the chair of the music department at the time, wanted to train teenagers to be better musicians in hopes that they would take their refined talents back to high schools to build better programs. Consequently, graduating students who came to EKU to play at the collegiate level would be better musicians and become better music educators in local schools, increasing the quality of bands, choirs, and orchestras across the region. According to the Richmond Register, Foster Music Camp is the second oldest music camp in the nation. The camp has evolved a lot over the last 77 years. According to Ben Walker, camp director, in the early years of Foster Music Camp, the camp lasted 4 weeks. Today, 2-week or 1-week options are available to campers, and the camp has been extended to include middle school age students. Students can opt to register for band camp, strings camp, vocal camp, piano camp, or world percussion camp, and campers can register to stay in air-conditioned dorms or they can commute to camp daily. Next, I'll share a little bit of what a day at Foster Camp is like for the eager musicians who attend. To the non-musician, a full day of rehearsal starting at 9 in the morning and ending at 5 in the evening probably doesn't sound very inviting. Even to musicians, such a long day of rehearsals may seem daunting, but during this time, students are directed by professional musicians and clinicians who help them to polish their musical skills and make them better musicians. During this time, students practice with full ensembles as well as instrument-specific master classes as well. There's several classes and enrichment offered to campers. Piano campers take classes in music theory, and each student can choose to take private instrument or voice lessons from professional instructors outside of their large ensemble rehearsals. Though long rehearsal days are taxing, Foster Camp is not held without its fair share of fun. When rehearsal is over, campers can choose to go swimming, play sports, watch movies, or play video games. An annual field trip is also held for the 2-week campers. Although many recreational activities are offered, many dedicated student musicians can be found in the Foster Music Building's practice rooms during the allotted recreation time. There are many concerts and performance opportunities at Foster Camp. Each camp performs their own individual concert at the end of the camp week, and at the end of the high school camp, a grand finale is performed that includes choir, band, orchestra, and percussion. The final concert was traditionally held in EKU's Ravine until recent years when the camp grew too big to fit on the stage. EKU's new Center for the Arts now hosts the final music camp concert. In addition to concerts, campers attend recitals given by Foster Camp faculty members, guest performers, and fellow students throughout the weeks that they are there. Finally, I'll discuss the lasting effects of Foster Music Camp. Foster Camp helps develop professional musicianships in students that they take back to their middle or high school band, orchestra, or choral programs. Testimonials gathered over the years from students who attended Foster Camp attest to this. A quote from Tanya Bromley, a trumpet player who attended Foster Camp. In 1969, Foster Music Camp was a 4-week camp. During that 4 weeks, I had the opportunity to make music with some of the finest young musicians in the nation. Just like me, these students had a passion for music making. That interaction helped me gain a whole new perspective of possibilities for music excellence. The experience helped prepare me for music study at the collegiate level and entry to the professional world of music performance. Foster Music Camp builds accountability, responsibility, work ethic, integrity, social skills, professional skills, and last but not least, lasting friendships. From my experience at foster camp as a high school student, I aspired to be part of an honors vocal recital, and for this recital I practiced on my own, outside of rehearsal and after hours. I have several classes with a girl who I met at foster camp my freshman year of high school. She and I are both music majors now. Foster Music Camp is also a huge recruiting tool for EKU. A large number of students who attend Foster Music Camp on Eastern Kentucky University's campus in high school return to EKU for college. Personally, I attended foster camp in high school, and it was the biggest influencing factor that brought me to study here at EKU. Ashley Kaufman, a clarinet player, shares a similar story on the camp's website. I attended foster camp for 4 years, and I would have attended longer if I could have, but I got too old. This was the place that I learned what it meant to be a musician. Foster camp led me to go to EKU for my degree. To wrap things up, I've shared the mission of EKU's Foster Music Camp, a long-standing summer tradition among middle and high school musicians. I have given a brief history of the camp's birth and evolution over the last 77 years, listed some of the daily activities of campers, and discussed how some of the lasting effects on individuals who take advantage of this fantastic opportunity. I hope that if you know a young musician who looks to improve their playing or singing ability in exciting ways, that you will inform them of this great opportunity right here on campus at EKU that happens every summer at Stephen Collins Foster Music Camp.